Hello, estudiantes. Today we're going to talk about ser and estar. What I want you to do now is I want you to have your note guide out and ready, and when I say stop the video and write down the necessary information. So we're going to talk about ser and estar, and let's talk about just how we conjugate them in the present tense. Remember, estar and ser both mean to be, however, I use them in different situations. Right now we're just going to talk about how to conjugate them in the present tense. Remember, estar is estoy, I am. Estás, you are. Está, he or she is. Estamos, we are. And están, they are. Ser, I am. Eres, you are. Es, he or she is. Somos, we are. And son, they are. So, I have come up with an acronym called LACE. Mrs. Thompson might have used it, and Miss Brinkley might have used a different acronym, but it has the same meaning. So right now we're going to focus on the usos de estar, the uses of estar, and we use them when we're talking about location, action, condition, and emotion. Let's talk a little bit more about that. Locación, we use it to indicate location, where. Where is something? ¿Dónde? El libro está en la mesa. The book is on the desk. Los estudiantes están en clase. The students are in class. Oh, let's see. What I want you to do now is I want you to stop the video and I want you to write your own sentence representing the L in LACE. You could say something like, Yo estoy en la clase de español, or Yo estoy en mi casa. Make an original. Do not copy from the slide. Let's talk about acción, action. Last year in Spanish 2, you talked about the present progressive tense. Remember, the present progressive tense, we use the verb estar with a gerund, and those verbs, AR verbs, end with ando, A-N-D-O, and ER and IR verbs end with yendo, I-E-N-D-O. So we could say something like, Estamos estudiando español, or estoy comiendo un helado. We are studying Spanish, or I am eating an ice cream. What I want you to do right now is stop the video and write your own sentence using a present progressive verb. A lot of you, when you're writing about yourselves in Spanish, you use the present progressive tense, so I know you know it and you're going to do a great job. Okay, so you have your present progressive sentence down. Let's talk about the C in LACE, condiciones, or conditions. We use estar when we're talking about conditions. Remember, estar is the temporary to be. So a condition is temporary. I could say, La profesora habló de gramática por 30 minutos. Estoy muy aburrida. The professor talked about grammar for 30 minutes. I'm bored. You're not always bored, but sometimes you are. Mi gato desapareció. Estoy triste. My cat disappeared. I'm sad. Maybe when your cat comes back, you'll be happy. It's a temporary condition. Los estudiantes han tomado muchas cervezas y están borrachos. Ugh, those silly college students. And Sycamore es un edificio muy grande. Estoy perdido. I'm lost. You're not always lost. So, what I want you to do right now is I want you to write a sentence representing the C in LACE. Talk about a condition that can change. You could say something like, Right now I'm sad, but tomorrow I'll be happy because I'll be in Spanish class. Or, right now I'm tired, but I'll take a nap. Write a sentence representing the C in LACE. The very last part of the acronym LACE is emoción, emotion. So, we could say things like, Estoy triste que el verano esté listo. Or, Están contentos que no tienen una prueba hoy. So we're talking about emotions that are temporary. I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm great, I'm not so good. Those are things that can change. So what I want you to do right now is write about the E in emoción. So just a quick review, a repaso. Locación, LACE, is the L in LACE. A, acción. C, características. And E, emoción, LACE. So now let's talk about the uses of SARE. The acronym that I came up with SARE is notice. So, for notice, we will use Nationality, nacionalidad, de dónde es. J-Lo es puertorriqueña. J-Lo es de Puerto Rico. Yo soy de Muncie. I'm from Muncie. What I want you to do right now is I want you to stop the video and I want you to write a sentence representing the in notice. You could say something like, I'm from Muncie, or I'm from Indiana. Origen, kind of the same thing. Ella es de Muncie. Stop the video and write a sentence right now representing the O in notice. Time, tiempo, es la una, or son las ocho, or son las 8:30 por la tarde. Please write a sentence representing the T in notice, tiempo, time. Identidad. Javier Bardem es un actor. Penelope Cruz es su esposa. So, identity, it's part of you. It's something that's really hard to change. For example, I'm a teacher. Yes, I could have a different profession, but it would take a lot of time and work for me to change how I am. So think about that. Right now, you're a student, or maybe you are a volleyball player or soccer player. That's kind of part of your personality and identity. It's going to be a part of you for a long time. And characteristic. Characteristics are hard to change if it's part of you. For example, I'm blonde and I'm probably medium height, but it's hard for me to change. For example, Danny DeVito es muy bajo. Or I could also talk about an event. That event is going to occur and it's going to be in that place and it's hard to kind of move it. So I could say, el ensayo es para lunes, or la fiesta es en mi casa, or la fiesta es a las 9. What I want you to do right now is I want you to stop the video and I want you to write sentences representing the C and E in notice. So let's just do a quick review. Remember, notice. N for nacionalidad, O for origen, T for tiempo, I for identidad, C for característica, and E for evento. I have some examples here. Right now you should have your note guide filled in with examples representing lace and notice. So let's talk a little bit about some of the differences between Sarah and Estar, and how sometimes if we use these two verbs, how their meanings can significantly change. So I want you to be on page 2 of your note guide, and sometimes if I say things just changing one verb, it really dramatically changes what I'm saying. So these are ones that are big ones. So for example, if I say ser listo, it means to be smart. But if I say estar listo, it means to be ready. Right now on your note guide, I want you to write down the meanings of these verbs in English. So remember, ser listo is to be smart, and estar listo is to be ready. So I could say soy listo, I'm smart, or I could say I'm ready, estoy lista. Ser bueno means to be good, as like you're a very good person. But if I say estar bueno, that means that you're looking really good, like you're bonito. So ser bueno, to be a good person, like on the inside. Or estar bueno can mean to be looking good, perhaps on the outside. Ser aburrido versus estar aburrido. Ser aburrido means you're a boring person. It's kind of part of your personality. But estar aburrido means to be bored, and it's a condition. It can change. So I could say, I could say, ella es una persona muy aburrida, saying she is a very boring person. Or estar aburrido means to just be bored now. Estoy aburrida. So write down on your note guide, ser aburrido, to be a boring person, or estar aburrido, to be bored just at this moment. And ser joven versus estar joven. Ser joven means to be young, like you're a young person. Or an estar joven means just to be young, like you're doing something that's kind of a young characteristic right now, but really you're not always young. So right now you should have English definitions for each verb written down on page 2 of your note guide. So now since we have Sarah and Estar down, let's practice and see if we can decide which is which. So on your note guide, I'm going to give you the correct answer, but I want you to tell me the reason why you picked that particular verb and tell me what part of the acronym it represents, lace or notice. So, for example, on number 1, it says, El examen blank en la biblioteca. The test is in the library. It's there, it's not going to move, so it's representing the E in notice. It's an event that's taking a place in the library. So you would write next to El exam es en la biblioteca, you would write E in notice. You're going to do the same things for 2 through 5, but I'm not going to give you the reason why. You're going to have to really think and decide which one would I use and what part of the acronym, lace or notice, does it represent. So number 2, mi carro está en el estacionamiento. Tell me the reason why you picked that. Mi perra es caniche. Marta es de Puerto Rico. Marta está en Puerto Rico. So please stop the video and write down why I picked that particular conjugation of ser or estar. Okay, let's do it one more time. Like I said, I'm going to give you the answers. However, you need to tell me what part of the acronym, lace or notice, it's representing. Mis padres son de España, pero ahora están en Canadá de vacaciones. Los Porsches son muy caros. Estos cuestan mucho dinero. El edificio de música está cerca de tercera calle. Ese hombre es un borracho. Pasa todos los días en el bar. El examen de español es en BH. Pablo es tímido y no habla mucho en clase. Estamos preocupadas por nuestro examen de español. Eres muy inteligente porque siempre tienes buenas notas en tus exámenes. So right now, stop the video, write down the correct form of ser and estar, but I want you to tell me why I used it in that particular situation. Pues, we're done. I'll see you next time we meet.